Berberine is a phenomenal supplement, but you have to know what conditions it can be used for and how to use it. So berberine is an extract. It actually is not a plant in of itself. Berberine is an extract from herbs and other plants. You've heard of golden seal. Golden seal has naturally occurring amounts of berberine in it. You've heard of maybe Oregon grape. Oregon grape has naturally occurring berberine in it. Also, there's many Chinese herbs which have berberine, and that's where we have the most use of berberine throughout history is use in Chinese herbs. And so now you can see why these Chinese herbs have been so effective over the many thousands of years in helping many different conditions because due to one component, berberine, and there's other many important components as well. So let me get into some of the general overview of why berberine is helpful for so many conditions. First of all, berberine, as I said, has been shown to lower glucose levels. It improves insulin resistance. And as I'll talk about later, it's as effective as the common type 2 diabetes drug known as metformin. Also, it lowers different types of cholesterol. We'll get into that. Improves the good cholesterol as well. A lot of people aren't familiar with the research showing that it reduces body weight by affecting appetite and regulating genes involved in fat cell metabolism. Moreover, it's been shown to lower blood pressure. And as I mentioned, because it helps with insulin resistance, it's been shown in published studies to help women with polycystic ovarian syndrome. And we'll get into that. It's been shown to be anti-inflammatory. It's been shown to reduce atherosclerosis in a study of the carotid arteries. It was shown to reduce plaque in the arteries that feed the neck right here. It's also been shown to prevent mild cognitive impairment. So really quite a well-rounded herbal extract. I should mention we also use berberine for infections of the digestive tract. So bacterial infections, parasitic infections. It can be used for things like candida overgrowth in the gut. It's also used for small intestine bacterial overgrowth. So quite a versatile plant extract. Now, many people want to know, how does it help people reduce fat? Not only their weight, but fat deposition around the waist. Well, there's a few different ways. Number one, when you improve insulin resistance, that's going to lessen fat deposition that occurs in the body. The hormone insulin, when levels are too high and spiking for too long of periods of time, it does cause fat to be deposed on the abdomen as well as internal organs such as the liver. Improving insulin resistance is key to losing weight in a healthy way. Also, it's been shown to inhibit fat forming and lipogenic genes. So these are genes which are involved in fat distribution and fat metabolism, and so really has a fat protective effect. Number two, it increases the genetic expression of muscles to enhance heat production, oxygen consumption, glucose and fat metabolism. So what that means is it's improving the muscle metabolism by using berberine. Also, it activates a messenger in the body, a chemical messenger known as AMPK. And AMPK increases energy production and reduces energy storage. So not only good for energy levels, but improving energy storage and improving the metabolism so you're burning calories better. It also transports glucose and free fatty acids into your mitochondria. So the mitochondria reproduce energy in your cells. Berberine is helping to get the glucose or sugar in there and the fatty acids to burn for energy, which is good for your energy level and for improving metabolism. Berberine also has been shown to improve inflammation. Of course, chronic inflammation is associated with almost all the serious diseases. And it improves LDL clearing by the liver. So people have elevated LDL levels. It helps with those, with reducing levels of LDL. Now let's talk about some of the type 2 diabetes studies, because this is really putting berberine to the test. So one review of 37 studies in people with type 2 diabetes taking berberine supplementation, they basically in these studies use doses ranging between 0.9 grams to 2.4 grams of berberine daily. Most studies lasted at minimum 2 weeks and up to 6 months. And what the researchers found was that there was a statistically significant reduction in blood glucose levels and hemoglobin A1C levels. And hemoglobin A1C is that marker you can use with blood tests that demonstrates your blood sugar average over 2 to 3 months. What they also found was if you use berberine alone or in combination with diabetic drugs like metformin, it did not increase the incidence of adverse events. So actually safe to use with a lot of these diabetic drugs. So that's very impressive. Also, they've done reviews of 18 studies for people with metabolic disorders, and they found that berberine supplementation can improve obesity, and it's been shown to improve hyperlipidemia, so it can reduce triglycerides or fats in the blood, reduces total cholesterol, reduces the LDL cholesterol, and increases the good HDL cholesterol. As well, it's been shown to improve insulin resistance, which of course improves type 2 diabetes, and it improves liver enzymes and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease in people with type 2 diabetes. So people with diabetes, because there's stress to the liver with all the metabolism going on and the insulin resistance, they are prone to elevated liver enzymes and deposing fat into the liver. And so berberine is a good strategy along with proper diet and exercise to help these people. In one study of 80 people with type 2 diabetes, they gave berberine 480 milligrams or metformin 1,000 milligrams daily for 3 months. The results, berberine was as effective as metformin in reducing blood glucose levels and controlling type 2 diabetes. So here's a head-to-head study with metformin and berberine really shown. The people in both groups lost weight. So whether you took metformin or you took berberine, both groups lost weight. And this is why I use berberine before I use metformin. I find berberine works just as well and the side effect potential is much, much less. How about the studies with weight loss? Well, they did a review of 12 studies in people with obesity, and they found that it had a moderate effect in decreasing body weight. On average, people lost almost 5 pounds, waist circumference reduced by almost half an inch, body mass index improved, but also people's inflammatory markers such as C-reactive protein improved, and also the dose used was 600 to 1,500 milligrams daily. The length of the studies, most of them were 3 months. So in 3 months of using berberine, it's something that you should use along with an effective diet, effective exercise program in helping with obesity. In terms of more specifics on cholesterol, on average, when you look at the studies, it reduces LDL cholesterol about 20 to 50 points. It reduces triglycerides 25 to 55 points. It lowers total cholesterol. It increases the good HDL cholesterol. And one of the mechanisms is that it enhances the expression of LDL receptors in the liver, which basically takes up and binds LDL and then your liver breaks it down. Also, it reduces the intestinal absorption and uptake of cholesterol. And what they found was the mechanism of berberine is different than statin drugs, and it's different than red yeast rice extract, which is also commonly used in integrative medicine to lower cholesterol. Now, polycystic ovarian syndrome is a very common condition in women, and fortunately, berberine has been shown to help women with this condition. We know about 10% of women have PCOS, one of the most common genetic-related conditions in women. So they did a review of 5 studies comparing berberine with pharmaceutical drugs for the treatment of PCOS. And they found that berberine improved the adipose tissue, so the distribution of fat around the midsection, reduced visceral fat mass, so that's the fat in the internal organs like the liver. It improved insulin sensitivity, similar to the drug metformin. It improved lipids in women with PCOS. It improved ovulation rates. You know, when you improve insulin resistance in women with PCOS, whether you do it through diet, exercise, or supplements like berberine, that will actually indirectly help with ovulation by the ovaries, which is a good thing. It was shown to improve fertility and live birth rates. Also, it was shown in women with PCOS to reduce acne and reduce excessive levels of testosterone in women who have PCOS. Women with PCOS tend to have higher levels of androgens such as testosterone and DHEA, so it has been shown to reduce testosterone. Now, people often ask me, what about taking berberine long term? It's great for blood sugar, your weight, your cholesterol, things like that, but does it imbalance the gut flora? Well, this was studied, and this is in a paper published in the journal Frontiers in Cellular and in Infection Microbiology in 2021, and the title was Effects of berberine on the gastrointestinal microbiota. And what they found in this research was that no, it actually had favorable effects on the flora of the gut, which then also helped with anti-inflammatory activity, helping with blood sugar regulation and insulin, helping with liver disease, helping with obesity, helping with hyperlipidemia or high cholesterol, helping with atherosclerosis by modifying the microbiome of the gut. So by modifying the microbiome of the gut, as we've known for many years now, you can affect the activity of the different organ systems and biochemical pathways in the rest of the body. So very interesting. What about safety for berberine? Well, berberine is very safe. When you look at the published studies, side effects are uncommon. There's a small percent of people who get digestive upset, constipation, diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal discomfort, but this is rare. I found if you use high absorbable berberine, such as berberine phytosome, that side effects are even rarer, and that's what I typically use with patients. And so they've done a meta-analysis of 29 randomized controlled trials, and they found in people with type 2 diabetes, people with high cholesterol, people with high blood pressure, they took the berberine that there were no problems with adverse events. The one thing you should be aware of, there's a class of antibiotics known as macrolides, and you're not supposed to take berberine when you're using that class of antibiotics. Now, one of the downsides of berberine is that it does have very low absorption levels, and so this is why I use berberine products, which have been shown in published studies, have very high absorption. So in our line, we use the berberine phytosome. So it has a significantly increased absorption rate compared to regular berberine. So this is one way you can use lesser amounts of berberine, avoid digestive problems, but get high blood levels and therapeutic effects of berberine. Well, there you have it with berberine. You can see it's very versatile. So it's very important to use in people who have prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, people with metabolic syndrome, people who have weight issues, especially related to insulin resistance. Excellent for people who have cholesterol imbalances. So it lowers the LDL, the total cholesterol, improves the good HDL cholesterol. We know it's great for women who have polycystic ovarian syndrome and helping with ovulation, helping with fertility, helping with hormone balance. So there you have it. If you want to see more information on berberine, other herbal extracts, nutrition, other integrative medical approaches, you can see these videos on my YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe, and I look forward to giving you more information on my next video.